live high on the hog for the rest of our lives.
But all I want to do is get my girl back.
I got guns and lights out in the car. Now stop!
Like I'm not into mid-tarsal breaks. I'm not into, learning about Travis Walton again. There needs to be a new conversation. And those are huge contributions to the community. But I mean, here we are now with the capability to have these new conversations because of what we're doing right here. I mean, we could never have done this in the world of talk show circa 2008, I think when Talk Shoe came out, the first podcast. And so now here we are with Zoom. We're able to talk about these things freely and have these new discussions. So I hope we do, because they cost us nothing but our time to have them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I do all this stuff because I love it and it's fun. That's my second time cutting you off. What were you going to say, Kara?
Oh, well, I was just going back to what you were saying earlier, and the way that the elemental idea is kind of a chilling one, because we destroy nature all the time. So I hope they aren't,
really
angry.
Yeah.
That would make me worried. Like, if these beings with unknown supernatural capabilities are like part and parcel of the natural world, it's like, maybe I won't log there. Like, I would be worried about that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know that there are any deaths or injuries or anything.
No, it makes me think of the log lady out of Twin Peaks.
Right? Yeah, exactly. This is all very Twin Peaks in point of fact.
Or wild animals in general. We're encroaching on their habitats, and they got no place to go as they're slowly dishomed and die off. Maybe it is something like that. Maybe it is where we're pulling them from their homes and they got no choice but to be seen now.
Yeah, they seem to have to live by our rules when they're here, i.e. they poop in the woods, they eat, they have to hunt, they leave footprints. But in their world, I don't know what that looks like in comparison to ours. Maybe they don't have clear cutting. Maybe they don't have those kind of worries. I think more often than not, that's where they are. That would explain why we don't see them all the time. I mean, the fact is that you can kind of guess where these creatures love to hang out. They love to hang out where there's an abundance of supplies of a place to hide, hunt, eat, and sleep. And they don't seem to hang out there all the time. We just don't have that availability. Otherwise, why don't we have better footage of Patty the next week? We knew where Patty was, except all we have is that grainy footage. And we don't have a secondary anything. We have all this FLIR capability. We have the advantage now of 360 cameras, FLIR on drones. I mean, you can buy, I think for under a couple grand, you could attach a FLIR to a drone now and fly it for over 30 minutes over a ripe area, probably well over that. And yet we don't have those kind of answers, because there's this type of godlike omniscience from these creatures, these beings. And however uncomfortable that is, they are very godlike. And man, you see, if you were to look up at Zeus in Greece and see a giant marble statue of a Greek god, right next to it could be Sasquatch, as far as I'm concerned, because they can do the same things that the old Greek gods can do. And they're built like that. I mean, those were the giants of old, by the way. And here we go back to the argument of the Nephilim, these, in some cases, cannibalistic giants, right? This is what the Native Americans would say, but that wasn't my experience with these beings. I did, to fast forward, have an occasion where I saw something, finally, and I won't give it all away, but it was a compelling bit of visual evidence at the Al Moon Lab that I finally got a glimpse of something to say that had to be them, or at least a neighbor of theirs.
Right.
And so, it's still happening at the area as well, although there is clear cutting going on really close by. And actually there's clear cutting to the left and the right of it, and it's squeezing in closely to where a lot of this phenomena happen, because most of the phenomena happen behind the house on the hillside. And this is where the continued story of this documentary called Flash of Beauty It comes out in February 2002, and it tells a 2-part chapter of Flesh and Blood, and the other chapter, our chapter, the more unusual paranormal link to what Sasquatch may be. And so that's what we've been working on besides this book, is doing an edit on this documentary. It'll be globally released worldwide, not just a YouTube situation. And so it's an exciting documentary. It's one of the most beautiful documentaries on the paranormal that's ever existed. And I didn't edit or film a single portion of it. It was all Jill Rimmensnyder and Brett Eichenberger out of Portland. But I've been a part of it for the last year and a half, and we're about ready to release it to the world.
This campsite ain't big enough for the both of us.
Yeah, so's I noticed.
Surprise! Bigfoot's got big head. Bluto!
You were expecting maybe King Kong?